Well, hello, hello, hello. It is Latanya Washington here. And today I want to get straight into it because I don't like wasting time. And I want to make sure that you all are ready and well prepared for your future as we talk about strategic planning. So, right now at this moment, I want to make sure that you all have your notepad, your book. For me, I keep a master planner. I always keep a book and I'm always taking notes. And I have a marker that I always utilize to really highlight areas that I want to really, really focus in on at the moment. And so, right now, if you need to pause this, make sure you have a book, a journal, or a notebook big enough for you to take these notes because this is a workshop. And so I want to make sure that I give you all the resources that you need in order for you to continue to thrive within your business. So this planning is for business owners. It is for entrepreneurs. It is for those who have a 9 to 5 job and you still have that hustle on the side. You still want to step out and do something extra, maybe doing something extra so you could bring more money into your bank account. It could be that you're really in the future looking to step out and do what it is that you love in the industry. All right. This is what this is all about. And so let's get started. Um and so when we talk about strategic planning, you all, first and foremost, what is strategic planning? It literally is the roadmap for you to get from the goal that you have set for yourself to get from now point A to point B. As you see, I did not say from point A to point Z just yet. You want to be able to create a roadmap for you to get from point A to point B to point C, and the list goes on and on and on until you get to your point Z. But guess what? As I say, the circle of life continues because there's always something else. For me, I never launch anything, I never step out into anything unless I literally have planned it out first and foremost. So, as a business owner, you want to make sure that you plan things out. What is this goal that I'm looking to set for myself? And then it will also break down to goals that you're going to set on a weekly basis. So remember, strategic planning, you all, is literally that roadmap that you will create for yourself to get from point A all the way to point B to point C to point D. Now, I want you to think about your industry right now. What is your goal within your industry now? It could be your industry might be fashion. It could be your industry could be music. It could be your industry is about business. It could be hair. It could be that's beauty. It could be you want to put together events. Whatever that industry is, you want to now look within that industry. How saturated is this industry? All right. We're going to dig deep into this, and then you want to begin to evaluate what is my role here. So now we're looking at, I want you to think about this and I want you to write this down. Why do I want to step out within this industry? Why do I want to step out into the marketplace? So if I use an example as the fashion industry, why? Is it because I want to do runway? Is it because I literally love to sew and I'm able to create designs or maybe focus in on a particular segment of the marketplace that would really, really be able to utilize what it is that I have? Why am I stepping out into that industry? All right. Because a lot of times, you guys, we begin to step out into something and we really don't know why we want to step out into it. Because it cannot be about this is what's trending right now. Why not? Because if you step into something that is just trending right now and it's really not something that you are resourceful in or skilled in or do not have the benefits in, it's going to fizzle out. So I always even add this area where what is my purpose? How can I be purposeful here? So once again, I want you to sit down and ask yourself why. Why am I stepping into this industry, and begin to evaluate those things there? That's where a lot of times, you all, we begin to define our vision, and we begin to define our mission. We define this vision in regards to how I see myself and why I begin to step out and do those things. Because when we look at our vision, you all, and we look at our mission, that is when we begin to align ourselves with our strategy and what it is we're looking to do in the industry. Okay. So begin to do those things first. All right. And then I want you to begin to look at, and as we say, I have my book here because I have to go to my notes. This is our webinar, and I want to make sure that I give you the tools and the resources that you're going to need in order to open up your strategic planning for yourself. All right. And so, with that as well, you guys, I now need to look at my current place. Where am I right now within the marketplace? Where am I right now within this industry? Am I just stepping out? Um, like I said, into the fashion industry? Am I, midway in, or I'm a pro at everything I do? Assess your position right now. Okay. And in assessing your position, now this is where personal development comes into play, and we have to become very, very honest with ourselves. And this is the area in which we have to do a SWOT analysis. What do I mean by SWOT analysis, you all? SWOT stands for strengths. What am I strong in here? What are the weaknesses that I possess? Because if I don't look at my weaknesses, and I'm very honest in that area, you all, I might find myself stepping out. And with me trying to lead myself, I know my strengths. Okay, I'm a great seamstress. I have a good eye and a good ear for hearing what is out here for runway. But my weakness could be I really don't have the resources. I really don't. I still need to work on my skills. Those can be areas that you are weak in. You have to know it, because you knowing it is now going to put you in a place of, all right, let me find someone that's going to mentor me. Let me find, or maybe I need to go back to school. And obtain more knowledge in an area. What are my weaknesses? It could be as well, even when we're on our social media platforms. My weakness is I really don't know how to connect with people. All right. Know your weaknesses. And then, as well, when we talk about our strengths, our weaknesses, we also have to look at the opportunities, the open doors that are out there for me. What are the potential places I can go? What are the open doors? What are the opportunities I need to begin to look at that I can begin to walk through the door? All right. Now, how do I find those opportunities, you all? Remember the term we have a tendency to say, Google it. You can Google things and look for opportunities. You can look at areas or things that might be in your local community. Google things like, you can Google, what are the opportunities out there within my community in it could be in Northern California. All right. Begin to look at the opportunities that are out there. It could be local schools that are looking for people that are in the fashion industry, that are that they're looking for people to come in and maybe speak about things or teach students about it. Look at those opportunities. All right. Remember, these are our SWOTs. We're talking about personal development when we're talking about and dealing with our strategic planning. And then we have to look at the threats. What are the threats for me? Maybe a small business owner. My threat is that it is saturated with bigger companies in the market. All right. What are the threats? It could be someone else is also in the market that is in my community that's just blowing up. What are the threats? All right. I want you to begin to do a SWOT analysis, because that is you being able to assess your position right now. Our strengths, What am I strong with? I'm a beast at having a good eye for fashion. I'm a beast of a seamstress. My weakness is I don't have the resources to propel myself in the industry. So now what do I need to do? My opportunities, what are the open doors in which I can begin to step into? And then the threats. Okay, I'm a little fish in the pond. But what it begins to do is it begins to help you align yourself with what you need to do to become a big fish. And the key thing is you don't even have to be a big fish. You just need to understand your audience, and you are able to niche down and know those areas so you can begin to thrive in your business. You don't have to compete with the big brands. You're your own brand. All right. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit more as well, you all. So once again, understanding your ultimate goal. What is my goal here? All right. Now I got to break it back down to little things. And then I'm looking at assessing my position. That's where my SWOT analysis has to come into play, you guys, right then and there. And then you guys, as we are strategically planning everything out, I now have to begin to look at what are my objectives. What are many objectives, you all? Many objectives are literally many goals. So if my ultimate goal could be in the fashion industry, to get to runway, what are the many goals or the many objectives that I need to begin to put into play here? All right. That means I have to begin to set myself up. How do I set myself up? All right. Well, if I'm stepping into business and say I'm the brand, all right, maybe one of my many objectives is I need to see if my name is taken. So my name is Latanya Washington. Well, one of the things that I wanted to do, because I wanted to become my own brand, and guiding brands and through the digital journey with a focus on customer experience and reputation management, which is brand management. All right, I need to see if my name is available. So I literally had to go and search out my name and grab my name. Thank goodness it was available. I grabbed that sucker years ago. Now you want to begin to grab your name, or even the name of a company that you might be wanting to put out there in the future. So first things first, one of my many objectives would be, as part of my strategic planning, see, I'm building my foundation. So part of that is I need to obtain my domain name. So you can go to GoDaddy, you can go to Bluehost, you can go to any other, once again, you all, Google is going to be your friend. Begin to search out, where can I obtain my domain name? All right, grab the name. So for some of you all, you might be thinking about, I don't know my name just yet. Well, then grab your own personal name. All right. Because you can always use that in the future, especially if you're stepping out as the brand. Maybe you want to become this content creator in the future. Grabbing your name is always a great thing. But for some of you all who may be midway through, begin to think about a name that you want to call your business. All right. Those are some of them. Those are many goals, or the objectives, or at the end of the day, it's a priority. So you want to make sure that you have your domain name, so you can begin to utilize as well that URL in the future, and you're going to have to build your domain up. All right. Why do we need a domain name with us, y'all? Not it brings credibility. It's letting people know, as we step out into business, I mean this thing. I'm not here to play. All right. I mean this thing. All right. So that's one of an objective. That's a mini goal. It's really a priority for you because you have to build with it. All right. What it also is going to do is, later on in the future, when you're really getting into this, it is you being able to obtain your email. All right. So now you have your domain name, and you also are able to send emails out with that domain name. It would be ask@latonyawashington.com. It could be support at the customer culture. I have my domain name, so I'm building my web design. I'm doing everything that I need to do in order to begin to build. Another thing is maybe you need to obtain your social media platforms. All right. With either your name, you always want to use your name, or if someone already has your name, you might want to put Miss in front of it, Mr. in front of it. Begin to capture some of those domain names. Now, the key thing is, and those are your social media platforms, you all, because remember, you're a little fish. Um, you're a little fish in a big pond of other people doing the same thing you doing that have marketing dollars behind them. Well, this is where social media marketing comes into play. Now you get to play right on along with the big fish. All right. So where does social media come into play? These social media platforms allows you to touch your audience with not all the marketing dollars that a bigger company might have. All right. So you want to begin looking at the social media platforms that you believe that your people would be on. So if I'm in the fashion industry, um, now I understand, okay, I might want to grab Instagram. I want to utilize Instagram and begin to showcase my fashion, um, my skills. We want to begin to utilize those. So, um, Instagram is a place for fashion designers. It could be TikTok. LinkedIn is always good, you guys, because it is us being able to connect with business professionals on LinkedIn or join different groups, and things like that. And so, even with your Facebook, so even if you do not have it, or you may have a handle on a social media platform, now you all, part of our objectives is we need to clean it up. All right. If I'm stepping out, if I'm being strategic, I'm doing some strategic planning and I'm stepping out into the market, I might need to clean up my social media platforms so people will begin to understand what my brand is doing out here. Okay. So if I'm in the fashion industry, I don't need to be walking around telling folk I'm out in these streets with my dog all the time. All right. I need to start letting people know this is what it is that I do in the industry. So that's another objective I have to do. So once again, I have my goal set on how I want to, why I'm doing this in the marketplace. And now I have to begin to get a domain name. I need to get an email address. I need to look at my social media platforms, obtain a social media platform. Which platform am I on? I need to begin to grab which one that I might like. You want to be on a social media platform that you love, as well as evaluate where your particular audience would be. All right. And now we gotta, if I have one, I need to clean it up. Remember, I need to become intentional on everything that I do now. People need to know what I do, because when we're talking about what a brand is, you all, this is for business. It is the perception of how people see you. Now, people will see you in different ways, in different lights. You have one group of people that might see you this way, another group of people may define you as another. But you have to be ready to share what it is that you do on these out here in the marketplace. Now, there will be times when you will just might post something that, a part of your work life balance, but then you got to bring that thing back in, showing people this is what I do. This is what I love. This is what I'm passionate about. All right. And so we have to do those things. Those are a lot of times, you guys, those are the priorities and objectives. And there's more to it as we begin to go down the line. But now we're looking at some of the priorities that we have to begin to focus in on as we are being strategic in building our brand, as we're being strategic in building up our business. Another thing is going out and getting that bank account with your business name on it, or making sure the financial areas are in play, because as money is coming in, you all, we got to start looking at the taxes, and we got to look at the names and all that. So some of you all, you might go sole proprietorship. Some of you all might decide to go LLC. Some of you all might be thinking about going into S Corp. Um, all of those other things that are out there for you. You have to define exactly how big or what is it that I want to do out here. When we talk about LLC, that's just limited liability corp. And so evaluate. Some people go sole proprietorship, and sometimes it really depends on demographically what state you are in. Begin to look into those things as well. Remember, you guys, we're talking about strategic planning and all those things. All right. So once again, when we're talking about strategy, what is my roadmap? So now I need to look at everything, and I need to begin to go from point A to point B to point C. A lot of times when we begin to look at, when we talk about that, you all, we're looking at KPI, key performance indicators. So if I need to get my domain name, all right, within a week, I need to have this done. All right. Get my week. Okay. Now I've gotten my domain name. Okay. Scratch that off as a key performance indicator. Done. Now I need to look at, okay, how long do I need to have in order to build up my web design or website? Now, the key thing is nowadays, you have to even ask yourself, am I going to get a web site, or am I just going to utilize landing pages? All right. I can make a decision on all of that. But at the end of the day, I personally prefer a web design or a website, because I can just put everything there. Now, when I'm utilizing my social media platforms as well, you all, I begin in my profile, I begin to add little segments there depending on what it is that I'm looking to do for that week. It could be for that week that I want to showcase, or I want to let people know that I have a particular event coming up. Well, inside of my profile on one of the landing pages, I can have a link going directly to that event, letting people know that that's what's coming up next. All right. So we have to begin to prepare ourselves in regards to all of these things in as we're in the marketplace. All right. So now let's go forward. And for many of you all, it could be we need to do a one-on-one. All right. But right now, I want you all to make sure that you're taking down these notes so you know what you need to put in place, your objectives, your priorities. It all depends on where you are in the marketplace right now as you continue to plan in the process. Now, next thing we need to do, you all, as we're putting together that roadmap, remember, now we got to look at our tactics. All right. Remember, like I said, now I know my roadmap is I need that domain name. All right. In my domain name, all right, what do I need to do? All right. I need to have it built. All right. That's part of the tactic of getting things done. Tactics are the responsibilities that you have to start putting in motion. What do I need to implement? What are those things that I need to put into place? What can I do? What do I need to implement on you all to make things start, to get this ball rolling, so I can scratch this off as a key performance indicator, and now I can move to point B. All right. Then I can move to point C. What tactics do I need to put in play? All right. In regards to this. And so now, you all, as we begin to do that, when we put the tactics into place, after we put together our roadmap, that's the strategy. Tactics now are the implementation, getting me to where I need to go. But let me say this, you all, remember, it's my goal. My goal is, this is what I am looking to do within this industry, my strategy is getting the roadmap in order. You all remember how we talk about Google Maps or we utilize Waze? What do? You all know where's my phone? We put in, okay, I'm here and I'm trying to get the destination. What does Google Maps do? It takes us from A all the way to our destination. It's the same thing with strategy. All right. And once you begin to build it, now you know where you're going. What happens a lot of times, you all, people do not put together a roadmap or a strategy to get somewhere. We just go all tactical on people. And now you know what begins to happen. We begin to fizzle out. And so we have to be mindful of those things that we don't get caught up in the right now. Gotta have it, gotta have it right now. Because it's going to fizzle out because you have no blueprint here in order to get from those areas. All right. And so when we begin to put together our tactics and we begin to look at the responsibilities that we have, you all, now we have to begin to go back and say, all right, I got that done. I did this. Okay, I'm giving myself time. I'm giving myself permission to win. I'm giving myself time to make sure that I have this in order, my foundation. Remember that this little piggy went to the market. The wolf, remember all that stuff? One piggy built its foundation on the sand. One piggy built it with some wood or whatever, and that wolf came and blew all that mess down, except for the one that built it with what is it, rocks and stones. There was no way for it to be blown down. This is our foundation. All right, it is there. Not only for you as a business owner, it brings credibility as we continue to build. Because let me share with you this. It's you're always going to be in that state of building. You're always going to be in that state of learning. This is how we grow. So, and even in order for a business to thrive, you all, it's going to require three things. It's going to require consistent transaction is happening. How do we get people to consistently purchase from us or become members of something that we have? What do we need to put in place there? Well, first and foremost, people got to know you. How are you showing up? Once again, if you're showing up on a social media platform, not sharing with me what it is that you do out here, um, they ain't showing up for you for that. On top of that, you have to begin to know how to branch out. How do we branch out? It's not only showing up, but I have to be consistent in what it is that I do. I have to love what it is that I do. I have to position myself in the space in the mindset of the people. That's what we call brand positioning. How am I taking up space in the mind of people? So when they think of this, I got to go to a function, oh, they think of me. All right, okay, latanya can make my dress because I know this is what they do and they do it well. All right. So now I have to position myself in the mindset of my people. These are ways in which you begin to, um, hey, you begin to show up in the market like the big fish. All right. You have an audience. You have your group. Now, another thing is, you all, when we start going there, now we have to begin to look at how do I begin to manage everything? How do I begin to measure everything? And how do I begin to evaluate? You do those things by looking at your metrics and your numbers. Or when we talked about remember we talked about previously about our objectives and our priorities and our responsibilities, you have to measure, did I accomplish this? All right. Did I get this platform started to now where people are beginning to notice me? Once again, you guys, we have to also be patient, especially when we talk about our social media platforms. There are things that we have to begin to do, and we'll talk about that later or on another segment. But I have to begin to position myself and I have to give myself patience because first and foremost, I need to organically begin to show up. Now, everybody's talking about running ads and doing all of these other things, but don't run no ads, you all, until you're ready for it. Go out and play around and begin to develop content and begin to show what it is that you do. Begin to show up consistently and see how that's working for you first. Many times I tell people maybe boost something first. We want to be able to utilize our emails. Remember, we're utilizing our emails, you all, because we have to begin to capture people's information as well, so we can let people know what I have coming up next or what I'm doing, or um, a membership that is available, giving people something along the way. So now I have to begin to, in my strategic planning, you all, I have to know how to manage. I have to begin to measure if this is working. I have to evaluate it. All right. If it's not working for you, if you're not getting it done, I need to go back. I need to go back. I need to go back. Do not try to build anything on a weak foundation. Remember the piggy who built his house on that sand? The wolf came and it blew it down. Build that foundation. Make sure it is working for you before you move on to anything else. Remember our strengths. Remember our weaknesses. I need help. Get some help. Now, this is where a lot of times, you all, we have to be willing to invest in ourselves, just like you invested in this webinar. All right. We have to be willing to invest in ourselves. Get some books, go to the library, take some time out and do what it is that you need to do. And then it boils down to the question, how bad do I want this? It's going to be the telltale sign as you begin to evaluate, as you begin to manage, and as you begin to measure everything in the process of it all, you guys. And so you have to be mindful of all of those things. Now, I want you all to remember as well, when you're strategically planning, it is not a one-time thing. It's always going to come. All right. I need to implement this. I need to add this in. I need to take this away, because to you all, as you have built your foundation also has to be built upon who is this going to benefit? Who is my audience? Who is my particular clientele? Who is my customer? You have to understand those things as well. Why? Because you have to know how to speak their language. You have to understand why and who this is going to benefit, because you want to provide them with the solution for a desired outcome. This is how, once we talked about consistent transactions. All right. I know who this is going to benefit. Now I'm able to speak their language. And with me being able to speak their language, they're going to come back to me, because now they not only know me, they like me. All right. They know me, they like me, and now they're beginning to trust me. Consistently coming back for more, consistently coming back for more. This is where we begin to make loyal customers. All right. We're making loyal customers that are coming through, on top of gaining new customers. I got to be consistent on everything that I do, you guys. That's why when we talk about strategic planning, it is so vital to creating your roadmap, from the goal, the planning, the blueprint, the roadmap, and then we go tactical. We're beginning to implement everything that we need. Now, another reason why, you guys, why strategic planning is so beneficial for us, and we're looking at objectives, is because if we're not careful, we could become overwhelmed. We start going tactical with no type of foundation, building everything on the sand, and then things begin to fall apart. Now, when things begin to fall apart, we think that we are failures, and then we stop. Well, these are why you have to begin to strategically put things into place, because you don't become overwhelmed, or you don't put so much on your plate that you become overloaded with things. Remember how we talked about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? All right, some of you all get some help. All right. For me, a lot of times what I do, I have a virtual assistant. I have other people that work on my site, even though I know how to create and build sites and web design. I teach this in school, you all. I teach marketing in school. I know all these things, but guess what? I still have other people that I allow or I trust to come in who work or work for me so they can do that work so I can stay creative and so I can continue to connect to my audience. I do workshops. I'm out in the field often. I I instruct students, all right? So I can't be everywhere all at once. I have to be able to have a team of people that understand what it is that I'm looking for, that I trust to do what it is that I need to get done, and they can do it. And they can get the job done quickly. All right. And I don't have to be sitting back and I have to be worrying about things. So that's a reason why you all, we want to strategically begin to put a plan in order so we don't go into overload trying to do things that we need to do to get things done so we can step out into the marketplace. All right. And be successful in it in regards to it. Another thing is, you all, we have to be careful that we don't ignore the current problem. All right. Like, oh, okay, I'll fix that later. Well, baby, that's a sinkhole. And so these are the benefits of strategically planning and utilizing our key performance indicators and managing and evaluating. All right. Is this working or is it not? We cannot, if it's not working, you all, it turns into a problem. We cannot ignore the problem because it can go from the people that we might be connecting to. It can go from a complaint to a crisis. What is a crisis? A crisis is when it is affecting everybody. Everything is going wrong. That's a crisis. What happens with a crisis? I got to shut it down. I cannot move. It is a sinkhole. And so those are the things that begin to occur when we don't strategically plan things out. And this is why I say on as well, it there's always planning going on. All right. We talk about growth of a business. Transactions are coming through. We're taking care of our loyal customers. And number three, we're consistently bringing in new customers. All right. And price tag has a lot to do with stuff too. So we'll be dealing with that a little bit later on. Another thing is good, you all, when we're talking about strategically planning, it brings in accountability. If we don't strategically plan, we don't become accountable. All right. And so that's when a lot of times we have to either make ourselves accountable, but writing things down on a board. I can You all see this whiteboard? I write everything. I got whiteboards all over my place. I have a whiteboard by my other computer. I keep a whiteboard here. I have whiteboards. And as I go throughout my day and get things done, I mark it off. Today, even though we're in a webinar, I literally wrote down a webinar today. All right. These are key things I need to talk about. These are things I need to focus in on. If I didn't, you guys, I wouldn't have done it. All right. For some of you all, you might need to put together have a whiteboard. You might have sticky notes. Another thing is, whether it's you or a team, you want to utilize a spreadsheet. A lot of people are now using Google Sheets, Google Docs, Asana, ASANA, where you can begin to write down what it is that you need to do for the day, get it done. Some people use, I think it's Trello. There are different things out there that you can begin to utilize to make sure that you get things done for your day. Those are considered to be a lot of times, you guys, we utilize spreadsheets in regards to all of those things. And so with that, you guys, I want to make sure that as you are putting together your strategic plan, that you look at what you need to get done. So we talked about or domain name, obtaining your website or obtaining that domain name. So now you also are able to utilize your email, develop and create an email, because later on, you all, you're going to need email marketing. You are going to need email marketing. That way you are always able to connect to your audience. So now let's begin to look at your audience. All right. As I said before, when we are strategizing, now I know what it is. I've written down why I am in this market, why I want to do what I want to do out here. Now I have to look at who is this going to benefit. All right. What segment of audience is this going to benefit? The demographic of an audience that this going to benefit. The behaviors and the interests of the people that it's going to benefit. All right. So now I have to begin to look at, okay, this is what I do. Well, maybe within the market that I'm operating in, maybe I just want to do things that are luxurious. Remember, we talk about the difference between a Walmart and Target, as we say it. You know, Walmart looks at price points. It is for families that are really, really focused in on the price point, the money, the monetary aspect. When we look at Walmart, what do you think about Walmart? Remember, Walmart is a brand. So when you think about Walmart, what do you think about? Think about it. All right. When you think about Target, we call it it's Target. We think about Target. What do you think about? You know, of course, Target is definitely cheaper than a Macy's. But when we think about it, what does it offer? What are the benefits when we walk in? That's another thing. When I want you all to do an example. I want you to think about go into Walmart from the beginning all the way to the end. I was in there the other day because I had to pick up a prescription. And then, of course, Walmart literally only carries a product that I like for my coffee. No one else carries this product unless I go on the Amazon. So when I walked into Walmart, I began to study because, I'm in the marketing. I looked around. I said, first things first, I grabbed a buggy at Walmart. I said, these buggies are flimsy. All right. They don't, you can't have, it was very hard getting them out. Then I began to look about at the people that work there. I said, okay, I see how they operate. And absolutely nothing wrong with working at Walmart. It is a check. Hear what I said? Then I said, let me go take a look at Target. From the moment I walked in, there was somebody there, security at the buggies, people helping you with their buggy. The buggies were much nicer. They were not flimsy. They were made out of plastic. I began to look at everything. I even look at the brightness of the store. I began to look at the sections, how well sectioned out it was. I looked at the people that worked there, all these things. I want you all to do the same thing. All right. That's why a lot of times you see how we talk about in the market. We talk about Target. Target is a brand. Target, but we began to call it Target. Why? Because the perception of Target is that it's better than Walmart. You still are able to get the price point of Target is cheaper than a Macy's or a Nordstrom's or something like that, because those two are brands, and they come with their very own things as well. JC Penney's, remember JC Penney's? And so I want you all to begin to think about that. Now, how do you want to be perceived in the market? Do you want to be perceived as a Walmart, which, price point, it's for everyone. Things are available. That same thing with Costco and Sam's Club. A lot of people look at Costco as being more upscale than Sam's Club. Some people look at Sam's Club as a Walmart. Some people look at Costco as a Target. I want y'all to begin to think about, how do you want to be perceived in the marketplace? How do you want your vibe to come across? What is your personality? Who is it going to attract? Who is what you do going to benefit? Who do you want it to benefit? And so when you're strategically putting yourself out there in the marketplace, you have to begin to look at things like this. Who do you want your product or your service to benefit? Who can it benefit? Now, the key thing is, as you're putting it out there in the marketplace and you say, okay, I am Target material, you got to come with Target material. All right. It just depends on who you want this market to focus in on and who you want it to benefit. So that's something I want you to write down. What is your current vibe? How do you currently come across? How long have you been in this industry? What is your experience? For the people that you have connected with in the past who've used your product or service, what are they saying? You got to go out and ask them. What do they say? How do you perceive me to be in the market? All right. Look at your current clientele. Now you want to look at the people that come at you for your service or purchase your product. What is their type? What is their avatar? What is their archetype? Um, do they love fashion? Do they love to walk around with Gucci bags? What is it? When you begin to sit back, and I that's another thing I want you to work on. When you look at it, begin to break them down. All right. They're business owners. They love to shop. Mm, they love high end. They love to get their nails done. They are, this is they're fancy. What is it? Or, okay, they love to look good, but they're not tripping on a price tag. They love to look good, but they're not tripping on brand name bags. They can walk around with a good looking purse that has no name brand on it and be looking fine as wine. Um, Evaluate who's already purchased from you and what is it that they love, and are they more concerned about the price tag? Are they okay with it and are willing to pay more? What is it? Are they more niche down to luxury? Look at what it is. How bad do they want what it is that they're going for in the marketplace? You want to begin to look at those things as well. So not only are you looking at how you're out here in the market, your why you do what you do, but the people that benefit from it, have benefited from it, your loyal clientele, or maybe you need to get them to that place of being loyal, which is another part of strategy. How do I do that? All right. I got to be consistent. I got to show up. Maybe the people that have been loyal to me, maybe I need to give them something for free. Maybe I have something out there. Maybe I'm developing a membership, part of a community. What do I do to keep them coming back for more? All right. Because when you take care of your clients or your customers or your consumers, you all, they will take care of you. That's even on the job. You ever been on a job where they give you, pay you minimum wage? What do people do? They're looking for another job. They ain't trying to stay there. Their whole concern is these people don't care about me. I'm trying to feed my family. I need to go get a job that's going to pay me more. What do I need to do? Maybe I need to go back to school. Um, so you have to look at it the same way when it comes to the people. And with that, you guys, it's going to help you in developing the content, even on your social media platform. So you're, once again, we're speaking the language to that demographic or that segmented audience. We're speaking the language of the behavior and the pattern of my particular audience. What is it that they love? And sometimes you just got to go around and you got to evaluate. Oh, okay. I'm gonna tell you all right now. It won't be so complicated, because when you begin to look at what your particular audience love, you sometimes you need to just go and look at their social media platforms. They're gonna tell you everything about them. All right. Um, they will tell you everything about them. And so a lot of times, as I said as well, when we're utilizing our platforms and we're trying to get out to the masses and we're building our brands, we got to go back and we got to take a peek at the people that like what it is that we do. All right. um there's always a method to the madness, but at the end of the day, it's you being intentional and it's you being strategic in it all. All right. Another thing is, when we're being strategic, depending on what it is that we're looking to do in the market, remember we talked about looking at our strengths, looking at our weaknesses, looking at the opportunities that are out there, looking at our threats, developing our very own foundation of what we need to do in order to build. Now, in order for me to build, you all, I have to make sure that I'm credible, and I have to be consistent. As we're being strategic in our businesses, you all, look at the people who have also purchased from us and ask them for a testimonial. Why do we need that? When people see people talking good about what it is that we provided for them, our product or our service, um, it shows, of course, credibility, and people start to tap in and say, oh, snap, that's coming from someone else, and they're really, really sharing that information. So I want you all as well begin to ask people to provide you with a testimonial. Um, or I say, or people might utilize your product. We call it UGC, user generated content, to where they may literally say, wow, I utilize this product. This is, I'm not going to show this because this is property, but I utilize and I have this product, and it is one of the best products I could have ever experienced. I told someone the other day, I said, if I was a content creator and I wanted to really, really showcase a brand, I definitely would be a content creator for Dove. I've been using Dove soap, you all, since I was a little kid, because I have eczema. Now, for me, Dove soap, when they say it is a moisturizer, it's no joke. For me, I always use Dove soap. If I've tried anything else, it dries my skin, and I always have to go back to Dove. I don't care if something smells good. Dove has been the thing for me. And so I've always had to use Dove. And so you want to be able to even utilize people who are willing to give you some user generated content. Get a testimonial for people. If you're utilizing your social media platform, get people to talk about you. Get people to share something in regards to what it is that you've done for them that has been very, very beneficial to them in the process. All right. Another thing is, when we're talking about strategy, you all, and we might be utilizing our social media platforms, we also have to look at, how do I get people off these platforms to develop my email database so I can begin to show them, provide them emails whenever something new is coming up, or I have something that I want to share with just my particular audience. You all, this is where landing pages come into play. I always say in strategy, though we're utilizing our platforms, you all, you always want to be able to obtain email addresses and phone numbers. So what do I need to have in place, you all, to obtain that information? Well, on your social media platforms, there are always links inside of a profile. Well, another thing is, part of our strategy, make sure your profile is another. That's another program. That's a brand audit. So if anybody needed me to do a brand audit, I am available for you in regards to that. Because even when we talk about our profiles, we want to make sure that we're utilizing keywords in our profile. Why? Not only is it, you want to have it there so it's searchable for people, because if you look at your platform, I want you all to begin to think about your platforms. On your social media platforms, there's an area where people are able to search. What are people searching for? They're either searching for a particular name, or they're searching for something in particular. It could be, I'm searching for voice lessons. Well, if you got voice lessons inside of your profile, guess what? You pop up in the feed. All right. This is why a lot of times we begin to utilize keywords, where that's a subject matter in and of itself. You want to be searchable. So you want certain words to be inside of your profile. Look at what people are searching for. Now, there are other platforms out there, other software out there, where you can literally look at, that's going to let you know what people search for. There's a platform called Moz, Moz. There's another platform called software out there called Ahrefs, Ahrefs. There's another platform out there we call Google Keyword Planner. That's out there for you. See what people are searching for. Some people go to Reddit, Reddit, just to see what people are talking about in the industry. Type words in within your industry, and it'll begin to show you or give you some analytics and some data what people are searching for. So you can begin to utilize those as well, so you can make sure that you have certain keywords not only in your content but also in your profile, so it's searchable. Not only do you want it to be searchable that way, you also want the algorithms to be able to pick up certain keywords, because what begins to happen with the algorithms, you all, when it sees that people are searching for another, it's something in particular, it'll also begin to put you at the top of the feed. So those are little things that I want you all to begin to look at. So that's where our brand is also part of what it is that we do. Look at what people search for and make sure you have those keywords inside of your profile. Not only just that, but you also want those keywords inside of your website or on your web design as well, because you want to look at when people are searching for, remember we talk about Google it? That's called SEO, search engine optimization. We also want to make sure that that is also available to where people search for certain things. You pop up, you search on Google and certain things pop up on the first page. Or organically, if you utilize keywords effectively, you can do that without utilizing Google. What is it? Google Ads. Some people paying for these things to be the first things searchable on a lot of these platforms. But a lot of times, start out organically before you begin to utilize some ads. So that's a nugget for you. Begin to look at certain keywords. Now, even if you don't use Moz or Ahrefs or some of these platforms like that, you can also just simply go to your social media platforms and type in searchable words. That's when a lot of times people begin to go in and utilize hashtags. Now, the key thing, even when you're doing that and you're utilizing hashtags and keywords in your content, be mindful, make sure that those are still focused in on what it is that you're talking about in your content. And a lot of times you got to switch words around. All right. Because once again, these algorithms are like, okay, you talking about your hash, this is too much. You keep utilizing these same hashtags over and over again, and it may be something that you're not talking about that day. All right. Utilizing those things. Those are keywords. Now, another thing too, let's get back to the emails. Remember, part of your strategic planning when you're on your social media platform to build your business and get more eyes on what it is that you do, you want to begin to have a landing page inside of your profile where people can click on, and then you have to, as I say, you have to give to get. Let's repeat that. You have to give to get. So I have to be able to give you a downloadable. I have to be able to give you a coupon for your first purchase. I have to be able to get, and it has to be something that people want. Okay. I have to be able to give you free entry into a community page in order for me to get your email address. Once again, it has to be something that people want. All right. Now you're building up your database. You're building up your emails. What do I use, you guys? I've used Constant Contact. I've used MailChimp. MailChimp is coming up the ranks. I use what is called ConvertKit. I use ConvertKit um, because of course I can build my forms in there. I can build my landing pages. It's definitely great with integration with other apps. MailChimp it also allows it the same way. You just have to begin to look at what it is that you want to utilize for you, what best fits for you. Even look at the price points, because it used to be MailChimp was free. It ain't free no more. All right. I think I was grandfathered in. However, if I wanted to upgrade, now I got to pay. But I use ConvertKit because I love it, because of what it offers for me, what it is that I want to utilize it for. And so remember, from these social media platforms, you guys, you want to make sure that you're still obtaining emails, because you want to utilize emails. And for many of you all, part of your strategy could be maybe, especially depending on your demographic, some demographics will read a text message um before they read an email. So you might want to utilize text messaging, which means, all right, if I'm giving to get, I also want their phone number so I can send a text message out letting them know when an upcoming fashion show is coming. Or I want to let them know this is happening. I have an event coming up. Or I have a coupon, get one free lesson, or half off for the next. All those things, all right? Depending on what it is that you choose to do. So once again, we're talking about strategically planning. So I need to make sure that I have things in place. So I've given you some software that I use when I do things like that. So you can begin to you know, build your database, because guess what? These platforms don't belong to you anyway. All right. There are many people, and it's happened to me where I've been hacked. Someone hacked my Facebook page, and I mean, they shut me down. So now what? All those names, all those people that I was connected to on Facebook, they're gone, and I had to start from scratch. All right. Thank goodness my assistant had built me up another page, because though I still had to start from scratch, at least that page was still there and available to me as well. All right. And so you want to begin to build that email database, because that database is yours. And now you can store it to where it is that you want to store it. And you can always stay in connection with your audience. What's coming up next? Well, I can send an email out to them. I can send a text message out to them, letting know what I have upcoming next. Everything can be connected to, a landing page where you're building, or, of course, that website where you're always able to show people what it is that you have coming up. They can go to your web design. They can go to your website and shop. All right, if that is available to them to do so. And so you want to be mindful of those things. All right. And so even with that, you guys, you want to be very, very mindful of all the things that you have available to your audience. All right. So now remember the vision. I have to be intentional. And that's why a lot of times, too, we have to look at what I create, what we call SMART goals: being specific, being measurable, attainable, um, relatable or relevant, and then time bound. All these things you have to build and put into place, so you are being very strategic on making sure you have an outcome. What is my ultimate goal? Who is this benefiting? Why am I doing what it is that I do? So I also am consistently connected to my audience, whether my audience is on social media, whether my audience or whether my customers are coming to my brick and mortar, whether I'm looking at new clientele coming through the door, depending on what it is that I'm doing. And then I also, now being strategic, I'm looking at numbers as well, from my price point to, okay, if I'm looking, I want to make, say I want to make $10,000 per month. What do I have in place that people can purchase from me, so I begin to reach my numbers? Now, if I break it down, what do I have in place for people to buy? Or what service do I have? Or do I want to start this membership where people might possibly pay to be part of a membership? Or maybe I have all these downloadables, or I have these programs, or I have fashion, I have designs, or I literally am, maybe I am also a shopper for them. What do I have in place where people can purchase? And how many people do I need to purchase in order for me to attain? Remember, SMART. In order for me to attain that dollar amount that I want to make per month. All right. And then you have to start breaking it down. See, all these things that have to go into place when you're talking about strategy. When we don't put strategy into play, you guys, it's like, once again, the piggy in the sand. It falls apart because I have no type of roadmap. I have no type of direction in order for me to get where I need to go. And we have to be patient with it in all areas in order for that. So now I also have to look at, if I'm getting people to purchase my product or they're purchasing my service, what payment process do I have for people to buy? All right. For many people, nowadays people can go utilize Zelle. They utilize Zelle on their phone. We have, what is the other ones? Zelle. You have is Square. Square is still there. PayPal. PayPal I like because you have people that you can talk to on the phone if there's a problem. As well, PayPal can also break it down to people around the world. What payment processor do I have in place for people to actually purchase my product or my service? All these things are part of your strategy. This is you building your foundation before you even put yourself out here in the market. Don't go out there because you don't want people to begin to see you as, okay, I wanted to do this, but there's nothing in place for me. There's no product. And another thing is, you guys, as you're in business, um, ask yourself, all right, I might be looking to sell this product or I might be looking to sell this service, but am I making myself available to maybe different people? Um, they may not be able to purchase this high end product or this high end service of mine, but I do have something available for them where they can come in. Like for instance, too, I have worksheets available that are a low price, but it's a worksheet where people are able to go step by step and evaluate and begin to break things down. Like I have a brand awareness worksheet. I have a strategic planning worksheet. I have a human relationship skills worksheet. Well, those worksheets, you guys, are available on my shop where people are able to obtain them and work it out for themselves. Well, you might work it out for yourself, but they might still feel I still need some help. Well, now I can still do a 30-minute session and evaluate a pain point or a roadblock that people might have, and me being able to provide them with a solution. Well, that's available too. All right. Then I have another program, a create and launch marketing program where they're able to download worksheets. Then you'll get me 4 weeks out of the 4 weeks out of the session. You can go at your own pace, and you also get me to where I'm able to go through some training with you. That's available to you. Well, maybe you want a one-on-one consultation. All right, that's available to you. I do a 4 hours, a one-on-one consultation, but also some people need more time. That's available to you. All right. I have, of course, like this webinar, even though I did this webinar, a live webinar, but guess what? It's also recorded. That's available to you. I did what is it? Customer journey mapping, a live event, but I also have the recording. That's available to you. All right. And then we continue to build and we build and we build. And so I still know that my audience is entrepreneurs, it is for business owners. It is for people that work 9 to 5 and have something on the side they want to step into. I know my audience. All right. Now, everybody may not be able to afford a one on one consultation, but you can definitely get a downloadable worksheet. Or as time goes on, and I still do a lot, I have a community that I share information in, and I also began to utilize my YouTube channel that I am able to share information in. So now you still are able to gain insight to me. It just depends on what it is that you need at the time. And as you continue to grow, I'm gonna tell you right now, you need somebody that's going to make you accountable. You're going to need somebody that's going to be able to mentor you're going to need someone who has already been in the game longer, that has been out here and able to show you, don't go down this path, let's do this, let's try this, let's do all these things, and go from there. And so that's what you all want to begin to look at when we talk about strategy and being strategic in your planning and everything that it is that you do. All right. And so we're looking at those areas. So I want you all now begin to look at that goal you've set for yourself. Begin to break down your audience or your particular clientele. What is the vibe that you're looking to show people out into this market? Now, mind you, you have to be authentic. You can't be cold switching. All right. So when I say your authentic self, that positive stuff. Now, if you're nasty, trust me, you ain't gonna track much. You're gonna track other nasty people that not gonna just don't be nasty. All right. So when I say your authentic self, you have to bring your expertise, your skills, your personality to the table. All right. Because you won't be able to change up on that. You'll always go back. When we talk about code switching, people start off one way, but they drift right back to who they really are. That's real. All right. And so you want to begin to evaluate and ask people, how do you perceive me in the market? Do I come across as a strong individual that knows what they're talking about? Or do I have all this personality and you confused at what it is that I actually do? All right. Ask people, because that's helping you to hone in and being strategic on ensuring that what message do you want to provide to people, you're getting it out to the masses. You want to begin to look at what the content that I'm putting out here, who is it really looking as though it's connecting to? That's going to be your telltale sign, letting you know the vibe you're putting out here. Um, is it working for you? The people that you're attracting, are they able to pay for your services? All right. Well, if they're not able to pay for your services, maybe you got to go back to the drawing board, because maybe you want another high end group of people that are able to pay for your services. But that you got to go back and say, yeah, I want high end, but how I'm putting myself out here in the market and what it is that I really know, it ain't there. All right. So I have to work on me. I have to give people what it is that they do look for. They are looking for. All right. That's when we go back and we look at our SWOT, our strengths, our weaknesses, the opportunities, and our threats that are out there for us. All right. So we have to go back and we have to go to the drawing board. But that's how you begin to gauge on where you are. Remember, we talked about manage, evaluate, and look at and measure. um People will tell you exactly where you are. They perceive your brand to be a certain way, and then look at the different tiers in which you can begin to um provide that service or that product to people. Because if you're trying to, you have a product, you have this luxury piece of you have this luxury dress out here, and your actual content is talking to people that you know can't afford it, it ain't gonna work. All right. So now I have to talk the verbiage of this particular audience that I'm connecting to. That might mean that my website needs to look better. It could mean that my social media platform is not talking to that audience. It looks a mess. All right. That's when brand audits come into play. I need to make sure that my foundation is in order for me to grow. Um, I have to be very intentional on everything that I do when I'm utilizing it, because it is the perception, it is how people see me that's going to make the difference. We talk about brand identity, you guys. I know I love the color red. Colors play a big role in how people perceive you too. I'm sure the whole time your eyes have been focused on the fact you see this red behind me, you see these black and white drapes, you see this board, that's already giving you a perception. You see some flowers up at the top, that's part of my brand identity. All right. um why do I you think I use the color red? I want people, and why I stand, I am literally talking to you face to face, because I don't want you to see a bunch of stuff behind me. I want you to focus in on the words, my brand voice. I want you to focus in on what it is that I'm saying. Yeah, your eyes go to those areas, but two, you're focusing in on me. Now, I could be in my other space and I have a picture of, I think it's Prada with a shoe, but it's a red shoe, and some other flowers that are there. But I still want you to focus in on what it is that I'm saying. I could be somewhere else. I could be outdoors. What happens? What do we have a tendency to do? We focus in on everything that's around. You know how we do, like squirrel. We're looking at that. But maybe intentionally I want that. Maybe I'm at the gym because there are plenty of times I'm at the gym. I'm talking to you from the gym because that's another part of who I am. I work out at the gym. And a lot of times people need to see you in different areas. It just depends on what it is that you're trying to convey for that day. But you're still going back to that thing that you do in the workplace or in the marketplace or out here within your industry. This is how you're being strategic and intentional on everything that you're doing. All right. And so I'm going to stop there in regards to this webinar for you all. Know that as you continue to build, make sure first and foremost you have everything in place, your objectives, the little things that you need to make sure that everything is flowing the way you need it to flow. If you need some help, get some help. I also, when I employed my people, I went to Upwork, upwork.com. I went there and I began to search out the people that would be able to help me do what it is that I wanted to do. And then I just stopped using them on Upwork and I hired them. All right. Um, Look at what it is that you need. But first, write out the goal and put together that roadmap before you go tactical. All right. And know that I'm here for you. If you have other questions, you need me to do a brand audit, you are ready to do a one-on-one with me, you want to begin to be challenged, you need someone that's going to make you accountable, um, connect with me. Send me an email at ask@latonyawashington.com or give me a call 323-445-9431. Or better yet, as well, connect inside of my Brand Builders Hub on Meta Facebook. I do a lot of videos inside of there. I'm starting to work more and put more up on my YouTube channel. I have a lot of information on my YouTube channel that is unlisted because it's for my students at the college. So I have information there that is unlisted, but I also have things that are open to the public that I put out as well. Connect with me. Let's grow. I want to make sure that everything that you do is intentional. Everything that you now do is being strategic, because how does a business grow? Remember what I said? It's through constant transactions. It is through your loyal customers, and it is obtaining new customers. That's how a business thrives. That's how a business continues to grow out here in the marketplace. And that's what I want to see for you. But first and foremost, know what your goal is. What is this vision for you? What is this vision for your company? Then who is it going to benefit? um, is it, who are the demographics? And it could be the segment of demographics, it could be the behavior of in the interest of what people are looking for. Now I have to be strategic in making sure that I have maybe my website, my landing pages, places where people can go to purchase information from me, looking at my social media platforms, looking at the profile. Did I put the proper keywords inside of my profile? Do I have a link where people can click on to go to the different things that I have available for them? Am I providing them the right content and specifically to the audience? I have to speak their language. What is it that they're looking for? What is it that they desire? Is that in place? Then I have to begin to look at, all right, if I'm utilizing these social media platforms, I can't keep them here. I have to look at developing a email database so I can market to that audience that wants what it is that I have. Well, that means, once again, I'm doing this revamp. I have to give to get. So I have to give them something in order to get their email address. All right. Um, and that way I'm getting permission to email them. That's another thing. I have permission to email them. Now, another thing is, you don't want to overwhelm people with emails. I get people that overwhelm me. I'm like, I don't want this. What begins to happen? I don't open them up. Matter of fact, if you keep doing it, I'm a unsubscribe. All right. it has to be beneficial to me. And that's another thing. So I have to be able to give to get so I can obtain emails. Now I still have to be consistent in sending out emails, letting people know what's coming up. Sometimes it's just to say hello. Could be they have an upcoming birthday and I want to provide them with something. I haven't even gotten to the ad part. The ad section is something in and of itself. I'm going to save that for another day, but I wanted to start with the strategy of everything. Remember, I talked about keywords. I talked about making sure that we have information and then building our foundation. This is our personal development. It is our building, our business development in the process. All right. It's your girl, Latanya. Once again, reach out to me for further information. Let's work together. I do not have a problem with working for you, but we need to make sure it's a right fit. All right. In the process, you can always go to my website as well, for you entrepreneurs, small business owners, you hustlers that have that passion on the side and you want more. You can go to my website, latonyawashington.com. You all, I am inspired by ensuring that we take care of our clientele, um, our customers, our consumers, because guess what? And I'm going to leave you all with this. Without the customer, there is no business. Without business, there is what? There is no money. All right. So that's it for today. And get to work. Get them notebooks out. Start doing what it is that you need to do. And know that I am here for you. All right. I'll talk to you guys again soon. And I sure hope you enjoyed this webinar. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.